Yo, what up, Adrenaline Beats? At work or on my lunch break, just wanted to drop in real quick and say a couple of things. Lately, I've been developing a new workflow. I got a couple of additions. I got a EPS Classic by Ensoniq, and I have a Akai S3000 XL. So on the S3000 XL, I did a ROM upgrade. I installed a 2.0 ROM and also got a Gotek floppy emulator, which basically gets rid of the need for floppy disk. The thing is that if you load sound drums or whatever you load on the emulator, it's still almost as slow as the floppy, or it seems like it is. It may not be, but I think it is. But you don't ever have to change floppies. You can just keep loading things. It'll say load new disk, and you just go to the next slot. Their numbers like 1 through, I think I got 900 blank floppy disk on that Gotek. I could put as many as I want on there. You got a thumb drive, USB thumb drive, and you load it up. So I have like 900 on there, so I'm on like 10 with just sounds and drums and everything. The ASR, I mean not the ASR, the EPS. I have the fully expanded memory, which is 4 times as much as you can get. It gives you like 167 seconds of sampling time, which is more than enough for me. The thing I like about the EPS is that you can take there's 40 different sample rates. You can take it all the way from 6.25 kilohertz all the way up to 56 kilohertz. So that's the attraction, why I wanted it over the EPS 16 Plus or the ASR 10. I just feel like it's just a little bit more versatile as far as putting samples and drums in there and getting that gritty sound. It's going to give you the grittiest of all the Ensoniq, except for the Mirage, of course. The Mirage is like 8-bit. The EPS is 13-bit, so it's closer to 12-bit. It's kind of like a SP1200, which is 12-bit, or the ISLA 24, which is 12-bit, but it's 13-bit, so it's one higher. Anyway, it gives you the sound quality. Gives me the sound quality I'm looking for. That being said, I've experimented with the 3000 XL and the EPS, and I'm running drums and samples through both of them. And so far, I've done about maybe 3 or 4 days of experiment. And so far, what I'm finding is that the drums sound phenomenal running through that 3000 XL, the S series by Akai. Drums sound crazy, man. Drums, I don't know what it's doing to them. I don't know how it's doing it, but like when I load sounds in there, I'll load drums in there and I'll chop them up, and I'm getting them directly off of vinyl. Like I'll find a little break in a song. I'm not doing it off breakbeat vinyl, just regular albums. I'll find a nice little drum break part in the album, and I'll record it into the 3000 XL and chop it up. I have that thing fully maxed out. I don't remember it's some minutes that I get of sampling time. I got it maxed out too. I don't have the effects processor, the effects board that you have to install, the EB16. They're about $300-400. I don't have that. I do have I replaced the backlight, and I put the ROM in, like I said, and I have the 32 megabytes maxed out for sampling time. But when you put the drums in that XL, man, that 3000 XL, and I don't know what MPC it's comparable to, like what it sounds like. Online, a lot of people say it sounds like the MPC 3000. And I'll just tell you that the drums sound good in there. That's what I know. So I know that putting samples and drums in there, it's winning with the drums. So I like to put my drums in there. I like to put my samples in the EPS. And I'm experimenting, like chopping stuff up and making beats in the EPS, which is really good because the drums sound good in the EPS too, but I don't think they sound as good as the XL. So now what I'm doing is my workflow is changing. I'm using my MPC Live 2 as a sequencer. So I have MIDI'd out to the EPS. I have it MIDI'd out to the 3000 XL. I'll have channel 1 on the MIDI doing my drums. I'll have channel 2 doing a sample from the EPS. That's what I did last night. But if I want to get a faster workflow, which I've tried this too, just run the whole sample through my EPS and then run that sample from the EPS back into the MPC Live, chop it up in MPC Live and do it like that. But actually, I've done it that way, and I've done it that way. It sounds a little bit better if you leave the samples in the EPS, and I'm assuming that's because it's coming out of those analog outs. So I guess the outs on the EPS are better than the outs on the MPC Live. So it has a little bit more character to it. So it slows down the workflow tremendously because making chops in the EPS is way harder than making chops in the Live 2. The Live 2 is just really good on a workflow basis and really good at sequencing. I don't think anything out there can beat it, really. I mean, I haven't tried everything, but so far I can't think of anything off the top that can beat it in workflow and sequencing and stuff like that. But as far as sound goes, the majority of the old heads in the produce or you know sound quality guys like ESK, and it doesn't give you the quality that that these other things, the older vintage machines, give you. So yeah, the 3000 S series, 3000 XL. I've seen some comparison tests where they match it up to the 3000, the MPC 3000, and it's no different. That from what I hear, I don't know what they're doing really, but it didn't sound any different to me. Um, so yeah, but I did run samples through it, and I was okay. They were cool. I used a filter in it. The filter's pretty good, but I still feel like the running the samples through the EPS is the best system I have. I also have a Roland W30, and running samples through that thing is a 15, or it goes down to 7.5 kilohertz. You could take it down to 15 kilohertz, or no, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. You could take it to 30 kilohertz or 15 kilohertz. I believe that's it. It might be 15 and 7.5, but I think it's 30 and 15. Whatever it is, that's a 16-bit sampler. But it sounds good. It sounds phenomenal. So I run samples through there, and it sounds really good. Drums also sound good in it. They cut through the mix, but the W30 has the most clunkiest workflow that I've encountered out of all my gear. The W30's workflow is just, it's so lumbersome. It's so painful to get through. The results yield you great sound, but man, I'd rather be on the EPS. I feel like I can get more versatility at the EPS. I don't know which one sounds better at their best because I'll be honest, I ran some things through that W30 and it sounded damn good. But EPS, it's just easier to work with, man. The workflow on it's still a little clunky compared to the Live 2, but it's a great workflow compared to the Roland W30. So yeah, that's it, man. Just wanted to chime in on how impressed I am with some of the gear I got, and I have no regrets in getting a 3000 XL. I advise you guys out there, if you're looking for like something to really give you good drums, good to really do something to your drums, the S Series 3000 XL. They're going for probably $300 or $400. You probably find them as low as $250. That's what the lowest I've seen them for. But yeah, they're going for like $300 or $400. I was lucky enough to find a guy locally who lived like 20 minutes from me that had it. He was on Reverb, but I was like, hey man, let me pick this up. So yeah, I found that, and then the EPS, I ordered that on Reverb too, and I was really honestly scared, man, because it was shipping from like California, and I've heard about people getting scammed, but it arrived, man, and yeah, it had the OS disc and 2 copies of the OS disc, and he sent me a ton of blank disc and a demo disc with the EPS also, and also it had a memory expander of 4 times, which he mentioned on there, but he didn't mention. I just don't have the regular 4 times memory expander. I have the 4 times memory expander with the SCSI interface. So that makes, in Sonic, it's a little bit more difficult to get your SCSI to interface or to work. You just don't plug a SCSI up to it and it works. You have to have like an adapter part in the SCSI interface, and it's like a whole module thing built into the memory expander that you plug in, and then now it has a SCSI adapter on the end of it. And so I haven't delved into that. I've been looking online onto the forums and everything, and everybody's saying that's the way to go because it's 10 times faster than floppy. And I don't have a GoTech for the EPS. I do have just floppy disk, and it's slow. It's extremely slow. It's painful, but saving sounds on it is slow. If you get too many sounds, you got to go through like multiple discs just to have like one sample, depending on how much sample you have. But all that being said, man, I'm really impressed with these new pieces. It's making me it's making me motivated to do music again. I'm excited to get home. I can't wait to get down in my studio and try some new things out. And that's only because of these pieces. And I'm experimenting, man. And so far, the way I like, what I love is putting the drums through the XL, the 3000 XL, and doing the samples through the EPS and using my Live 2 as a sequencer. The only problem I have that I'm trying to figure out now is recording. So when I do that, maybe someone in the comments can help me out, tell me how they would do this or how they do it. So if I have all that stuff coming out, I have a mixer. I have all this stuff going into the mixer, so I can mix it on the mixer. The 3000 XL does have 8 outs. I haven't used it yet, but I think I'm going to. But if I have it all going into the mixer and I mix it down and then I have the sounds ready, the sounds have to go into something. So last night I tried putting them into Logic, but you have to do the utility Logic IO app. You have to open that up, and it's just some BS. I don't like it, to be honest with you. But I'm trying to figure out a real easy way. I have a Model 12 mixer as well as an Apogee Duet, and I'm about to get the Claret 8 pre. I mean, not pre, but the 8 interface. But until then, I'm going to have to do it either one or two ways. Record it to a SD card on my mixer, which sounds attractive to me because it'll be on an SD card, and I can take the SD card and just actually I could leave the SD card in my mixer and then do mass storage, turn it into mass storage, and just move files over, move them over or on a computer, or I can export it on the mixer as a 2-track and be done with it. You know what I mean? But that enables me to just use my outboard gear, my compressors, and all that too. So I'm just trying to figure out the workflow. Until I get the Claret, it's a little bit harder to get it to interface with my computer, with my Mac. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do tonight. I think I'm gonna try and record it to my mixer SD card and see how that turns out. But I am impressed, and I do love these new pieces of gear. And it's when you go with analog gear, as far as outboard gear, as far as instruments, as far as synths or drum machines or whatever, so far I have not been disappointed yet. And I can't say the same when it comes to like VSTs or apps or anything. I don't know. They just don't have the presence that analog gear. Even the plug-in effects, like the compressors, and the compressor that I love using most is a LA76 and a 2A. Yeah, so I use them as I bought the UAD, the Universal Audio one, so I use that, which they're really good. They're phenomenal. But when I compare it to I have a Golden Age compressor. I think I paid like $400 or $500 for it. It was a Golden Age compressor. But when I compare, which is supposed to be an emulation of a Teletronics, who knows? I don't know how much those things really cost, the real hardware version, but they're super expensive. But when I compare my $500 compressor to something that's supposed to emulate something, I don't know, maybe 10 times the price of or more of my compressor that I have, the Golden Age, and the Golden Age compressor is blowing that plug-in out the water, like it's killing it. Like this, it adds so, I don't know, it just adds so much to it. And I have a preamp that I use, and when I use the emulation preamps compared to the preamp, the Warm Audio preamp I have, there's no comparison. There's just no comparison. So I have yet to be disappointed by any hardware that I bought, and I can't say the same for all the VSTs or the plug-in version. So that being said, man, analog is the way to go. If you can go analog, I advise you to go analog. If you're a recording engineer or if you like recording people, you have analog gear, here's a bonus, man. If you record people, you could charge a little more. I was telling the guy that I don't want to say mentor, but he's an up and coming producer. He's about 19, but I let him come over and produce and do whatever. But he was telling me he was about to buy this plug-in effect bundle, and I was like, bro, just if you're going to spend that much on that, just get a piece of analog gear and just start building. And I was like, when you record these people, if you have a $500, $700 compressor, a $400 EQ, $1,000 preamp, you can charge more money. Instead of charging $25 an hour, you can charge $45, $50 an hour just based on that. Then you get you a good microphone. I have a TLM 103, but that TLM, if and with all my hardware, analog gear, I could charge, $50 to $75 an hour if I wanted to with my studio. I have a mic booth, I have everything. So if I wanted to go that route, I just don't want people in my studio in my house because it's on the bottom half of my house. But yeah, analog gear is an investment, man. It can make you a little bit more money than the digital stuff. So that being said, Adrenaline Beats, I'm out. Oh yeah, wanted to shout out the people that gave me inspiration this week. Every time I do a video, I'm going to shout out and who inspired me. I've been watching videos of so and so, and that person inspired me. EA Ski always is an inspiration, so I was inspired by EA Ski this week. I watched the Dame Tiller live. I was always inspired by Dame Tiller. He's very polarizing, but he always gives me inspiration. He always gives me motivation, man, and I thank him for that. And I usually watch Craftmaster CMP, but I haven't seen him in a while. So I missed one of his things. But yeah, so CMP, EA Ski, Dame Tiller, yeah, that's who's giving me inspiration this week. So shout out to those guys, man. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all my old heads out there doing it. Remember, man, you don't have to be making a full-time living off this. Just do it because you love it. That's enough. All right, peace.
Drum on beats.